direction, whether to take position in it or not.
Okay. So we move to the way the market was last week. Indicators, some of them appeared in the red. Ultra index was down 0.16%, market capitalization down 0.16%, volume down 25.44%, deals down 13.60%. But year to date, Ultra index up 10.5%, market capitalization up 14.08%. Now, we're still looking further at the way the market performed last week. Value grew 15.74%, and there were 44 equities on the gainers chart as against 31 on the losers chart. I think profit taking.
Yeah.
But the market is kind of resisting.
That profit taking, exactly.
Now, the fact that the Ultra index and market capitalization were down really does not mean that the market was butchered last week, but it might suggest that substantially some high cap stocks actually lost value.
Yeah, like MTN and Stanbic IBTC, GTCO, they were all part, and Nigeria Breweries, they were all part of it.
Now, in the course of last week, the Debt Management Office of the federal government actually announced that 150 billion naira bond issuance is going to be in February. All right. As a matter of fact, I think between 18th and 19th, if I'm not mistaken, of February. Will this not further depress the market this week?
No, I'm not looking at it that way, because especially primary market for debt from the DMO is not for retail investors. Like we said, a ticket is 100 million. How many of the retail investors will be able to? Is
it retail investors that determine price performances of equities on the floor of the NGX?
You know, when we said retail,
it is still the high net worth investors.
But who says that the money that we put into the debt market has not been reserved for that purpose? Especially now that what we are looking at end of the year, and this is a dividend pay period. So I'm not looking at that mass movement out of the market to the debt market.
Let me ask you one question, Aruna. It might not be part of what you'll be thinking about. We've seen the unaudited report of some of these companies. All right, quite a number of them. We'll still talk about them. How do I make use of this against the expected audited report?
Like we said, there will be no significant difference. There will be no clear cut between the unaudited and the audited. That was why the market responded to them exactly. Let's take Presco. Presco that grew from 5 naira 60 kobo to about 18 naira. There is nothing the auditor will call that will now bring that to 15 naira. So definitely it's going to be the neighborhood of that same 18 naira. So by the time you have seen the unaudited result of Presco, it gives you direction.
Let me ask you another question. We have seen profit taken now after the release of the unaudited result. We've seen before the profit taking sharp price increase as a response to the positive earnings from the unaudited report. Are we also expecting the same dimension, positive, sharp, immediate response to audited reports when they are released?
Why? Because there will be dividend declaration on the audited. We argue here between Presco and Okomo last time, and we're talking about dividend payout. Peradventure that Presco now go as far as pay 12 naira like Okomo is paying, from 2 naira to 12 naira. There will be sharp response to that stock. Look at Okomo. If they now say, okay, we have increased our payment from 7 naira to 12 naira, there will be sharp response. Though we have seen the result, but did not depend on their dividend payout policy to determine how much are going to be from this any per share. Why you see that there's a decline, the market responded to the earnings, but because the market don't actually know, there is nothing at the end of the result now that the market is waiting for. That's dividend wise. That's why you see people are taking their profit.
So, Aruna, you are actually telling me that the way to position myself now against audited reports of those companies that we are yet to see and the audited reports of those companies whose unaudited report we have seen is dividend payout projection.
Yes, that is on one side, especially those that have released their unaudited. For those that have not released maybe they want to release their audited, is that you sit with their quarter 3. You look at the growth from quarter 1 to quarter 2 to quarter 3. You can fairly predict how their quarter 4 was going to be like. Chances are that the prices at which they are trading, which the quarter 4 result has not been reflected in, then you take position and wait for the release of that quarter 4 result, especially when you have seen the growth in their dividend payout.
SCOA led the market with a growth of 42.40% just 1 week. Last week, a sister company, or do I say they are not sister company per se, but they operate in the same industry,
group,
more or less. RT Briscoe also was up 39.29%. Right? And I also saw companies like Sun Assurance, Gannett, Farmil, Presco, Charms, Total, and Academy Press, like that. Okay? Now, this SCOA, we have mentioned it on this platform.
You know,
but it's like we didn't follow up.
You see, we have said on this platform there is no bad stock forever, there is no good stock forever. All you need to do is to follow the news that are emanating from the company. It will give you a direction of where the company is going to. The SEO we are talking about had a growth from 5 kobo to 28 kobo in their unaudited result. That's almost 460%. At that price, there's no way the market will not appreciate it. Even when you look at RT Briscoe, from a loss of 93 kobo, they now got to a profit of 8 kobo. There's no way the market will not look at it. And there's a way the market normally do a random walk. When the results hit the market will first of all react to those that have superlative performances before they begin to look at the result of SCOA, RT Briscoe, Charms, and SAR.
And you see this SCOA, this growth, is it sustainable? Because from the indicators I'm seeing here, it is terrible. This equity was slipping for the entire 2021. From the beginning of the year till October, it was selling at 87 kobo, and then it moved to 95 kobo, and got to 1 naira 4 kobo, and remained there, and it came down sharply to still remained at that 1 naira 4 kobo, but we will see it at 90 something kobo, 1 naira 20. We'll see it at 96 kobo, 90, and then suddenly it just came up, and as we speak now, it's selling at 1 naira 78 kobo. I don't think I will have enough time here to look at the last time. From what I'm seeing here, the entire of 2012, 2010, the last time this equity made any consistent performance was around 2009. The entire 2010, 2011, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 2021. Now, some investors will, because of this 42.40%, begin to take position. Will that be advisable?
No. Why do I say so? That price is coming from somewhere. And what we see there is that it's just because of this information that are in the stock. A number of people will be getting ready to exit. So as we are coming in, other people will be exiting because at the back of it, there is nothing to earn, maybe in form of dividend.
The same thing, RT Briscoe. Of course, that one still moved around 2014, 2015, then 2016, just went comatose throughout 2020. Not a single trade that I can see here. In 2021, it still did a little and had just gone to rest. Since, if I'm not mistaken, since March of 2021, before it suddenly woke up last week, gaining 39.29%.
Because all this period we are talking about, if you check their financials, they have been making losses. Like the last one that they just released, I said from a loss of 93 kobo to 8 kobo gain. So it means that first of all they have to cover.
Let me ask you one question. There are some that might not be watching this program now or listening to this program now. What is the mistake they will be making or the risk they carry going to invest in these two kind of companies, Altip Briscoe, SCOA?
Is to begin to pursue them at the prices at which they are trading, because at the end of the day, after this information will be fully reflected in the prices, the rally will stop and profit taking will settle. And at the end of the day, you discover that the prices will go back to where they are coming from. We
now look at those that gain. I decided to dwell more on SCOA and Altip Briscoe, in the sense that there is a way people will just wake up one morning and go and get hooked in such equity. Sometimes you see such price gap, you enter into such equity, and when you now say you want to sell, you don't even get it sold. It might take weeks, because again, you see the volume comes in trickles and things like that. So it is better, even if you must invest, you allow whatever they want to do, let these things become consistent, that you are able to lay hold on. That is the way equity investment should be approached. Pharmadeco, Okomu Oil led market decline last week. Aruna, Okomu Oil was down while Presco was up. Is the market now focusing on Presco against Okomu?
Like I said, the market normally do what they call random walk. It has been favoring Okomu for long. Okomu has been showing 142 naira. And you know even why it is showing 142 on the ticker tape. It was available at that 127.80. Why it has actually not come to that 127.80 because there was no board lot. But this week there was a board lot of 100,000 and the Okomu was brought down to 127.80 where we are seeing. And even as at that time, it has not traded less than that 127.80, which means that the board lot just came and the price was dropped from 142 to 128. I think it's just waiting for the audited result to go back to where it's coming from.
Looking at the indicators for these two companies, Okomu and Presco, they are such equities that often go to rest so much. For example, in 2021, between October and November, Presco was resting and then moved up in November. Actually moved down in November for the entire of December 2022. As a matter of fact, for the better part of January till around 28th of January, Presco was still just comatose, resting. Will you advise that I invest in such a stock?
Well, because why you see that you think it's in comatose is because there was no board law. It doesn't mean that it was not trading in volume, just that there was no deal of 100,000 both buy and sell. From the result we have seen from both Okomu and Presco, I think they are going somewhere. And you know that Presco traded 113 during the week. It only came back to rest at 104. It means that if it has tested that 130, there's every possibility of going back to that 130.
But the highest I saw Presco here for the week was 1 naira for kobo.
No, it got to 113.
If I'm not mistaken. Okay. Okay, that being said, we go to Learn Africa. Learn Africa reports released its third quarter reports to the market last week. All the indicators, turnover was up 63.49%, profit after tax grew by 114%, earning per share of 38 kobo at a price of 150 kobo, P ratio 3.92, very fantastic, earnings yield 25.51%, profit margin 13.06. What will you say about not just Learn Africa, but companies operating in this industry? You know, it's in the same industry as Academy Press, the same industry as UPS, and all of them are performing fantastically.
It just shows how the economy has actually discounted what happened in 2020. They are into publishing. And when everything was restricted, how many people were actually demanding for that? But schools were closed. From primary school to tertiary, they were all closed. Now that schools are open, then they now show that there's demand for their product, and it's reflecting in all their results. With Learn Africa, any seed of 25%, that is fantastic, at the price of $1.50. It means that this stock is going places.
All right, we'll quickly go on a short break. Please, this Saturday, this next Saturday is the time for those who are interested in becoming a shareholder. Not a shareholder now. Those who are interested in becoming a part of Association of Avid Shareholders will be meeting together. So please make sure that you are there. Okay? And what we are going to be doing is so much. When I return from the short break, I will be taking you through some of the things you stand to benefit. Don't change this channel. We'll be right back. Hello, I'm Abayomi of Babulujo. I'm coming to you this time around to formally invite you to be a member of Association of Avid Shareholders. In the past, I've been used and done. That is what I've seen. People who want to do private placement, they will call me, and then I will give them support. After they got the money, they become unreachable. Some of these companies, as we speak now, are being delisted from the floor of the NGX. It shouldn't be. You see, there's a limit to how far the Securities and Exchange Commission can do. There's a limit to what the NGX can do. They're just the regulators. They will not do beyond the dictate of their regulatory responsibilities. But you see, to make management of our quoted companies to sit tight is a responsibility that you and me as investors in the market will have to undertake. In 2008, when the market crashed, I know how much I lost. It almost ruined me. But thank God, I survived. Many people did not survive. But how many managers of quoted companies actually experienced such losses? They collect salary. They manage companies for 10 years without paying one single dividend. And yet, they pay themselves bonuses. They pay themselves salaries. What are you benefiting? So let us rise together and make sure that things are done properly, that things are done well, the way things should be done in this market. That is why in the month of February 19, 2022, we're going to be converging. The place we're going to be using really is not big enough, so you have to pre-register. Register first as a member of Association of Avid Shareholders, and then register to attend the event. As we gather together, as we embark on our mobilization, so we are also going to be previewing 2022 to tell you what stocks, what industries that you should invest, and then we tell you why. We tell you the qualities of equities you should invest in, and we also show you those you should not even bother to go near. These are the things we want to do, to share experiences, to share knowledge, to share information, to educate ourselves, so that we all can become informed investors, better investors, as we also stand to claim our right, to fight for our right, so that we can secure our future as we are investing today. That is my submission. I hope to see you. Thank you. Welcome back. Now let me tell you some of the advantages you stand to derive joining Association of Avid Shareholders. Number one, it is not going to be contesting for audit committee membership. We are not necessarily going to get ourselves involved in such politics. One, we're going to be sharing information together. Two, we are going to be sharing knowledge together. There's a difference between information and knowledge. Now, information is what is generally known by everybody. Knowledge is you deploying those information to the market, to trade, to invest. And by the grace of God, I'm not going to be the president of the association. I'm just going to be a leader. We will still sit, appoint our executives. But having been in the market for these 30 years and counting, and having been in the profession of having to analyze stocks and teach equity investment, counting over 21 years now, every week, if not twice, at least once, we will be doing what I call investment education session, whereby we'll be discussing among ourselves what we will never be able to discuss either on air, radio or TV or online, but it will be personal. So as we speak, a WhatsApp group has been created already. This is different from the WhatsApp group that has been created for stock watchers and the Telegram group that has been created. This one is a specific WhatsApp group for members of association of avid shareholders. We would also be seizing the opportunity to discuss with experienced investors among us. They also will be sharing knowledge with us. It's going to take some of their time. They will have no choice than to devote. For example, I know Mrs. Bola Akinyemi. She has a lot of information. She knows so much about the stock market, but you can't bring her to the television. She's not going to talk. You can't bring her on the radio. She's not going to talk. But she's an active member. As a matter of fact, she's a member of our board of trustees. This is a woman that has devoted her entire life since 2007 or 8, to the best of my knowledge, when she retired from First Bank, to analyzing the stock market. She has a lot. She will be sharing knowledge with us. So this Saturday is just for us to meet, and then we register, we get to know ourselves, and then we map out our strategies. It's not going to be part of those that we go to another general meeting, you raise up your hand, somebody wants to, and then I'm not interested in that. It is not the kind of association that somebody will come and bribe back. I do say Abayomi Obabelujo is not rich, but I cannot also be categorized as a poor Nigerian. Alright? Yoruba people will say, Ebi opami mi o si yo. I'm not the kind that you can bribe. I've been in the media for over 21 years. Nobody can say he has bribed me with a penny. What will you bribe me with? Okay, go and bring $50 million if you really want to bribe me. So we will be objective. That is the truth. We will fight when we need to fight. We will also be gentle when we need to be gentle. I see even till last week, somebody was complaining about Niger Insurance on the Telegram platform, that in 1 year the shareholders fund of the company
wiped out.
Now you will hold the Securities and Exchange Commission will not kill them. There's nothing that SEC will do to that, because the shareholders of the company have chosen to keep their mouth shut. And let me tell you the way these things have worked till now. Those quoted companies know how to play on the intelligence of shareholders. All they need to do is to call one, I don't want to mention specific name, because there are categories of shareholders group anyway, husband and wife shareholders group, one person and his friend shareholders group, and things like that. They will just call them because they make noise, and then they know how to talk among themselves. Alright? And they just gather at their court-ordered extraordinary meeting or annual general meeting to sing praises of institutions. We are not going to be doing that. If you are doing well, we tell you you are doing well. If you are not, we also tell you you are not doing well. Alright? So it is going to be a totally different thing from what has been. We didn't just incorporate. We are only coming back to become active as we speak. So join me and others this Saturday. We are going to be converging at 1 o'clock, and before 4 we'll have rounded off, because it's not going to be a long meeting. Thereafter, we set balls rolling, and then you will hear about us. So make those calls now. Call your me, call Ruth, call your Wale. They will tell you how to get to the venue and the time and every other information you may need. I expect you. Now, Aruna, what we were trying to do last week that we were not able to do, I think we still have like 10 minutes plus or minus before we go. Let's spend the 10 minutes on this. I think we've done Prestige. I know that people have taken profit on this information already. But you see, when a company releases a report, that report subsists and remains important until another result is released. That is the way it works. So these are unaudited reports. We know people have seen it, people have taken position. But do you know that even the prices coming down and then people taking profit is also an advantage?
Yeah, it's another opportunity
for entry. And that is why you see the prices of equities in any stock market will never be on a straight line. It will always be on a zigzag format, and that is what, like the pendulum of a clock. And that is why I say again in Yoruba, ninu fi ninu ola lomopandoro ngbe. Omopandoro is the prices of stocks listed on the floor of any exchange. Now we go to let's start with sterling. Okay, I know that people have taken profit, but looking at the PE ratio of sterling of 3.80, okay, they have 14.71 growth in their profit after tax, and then the earnings yield 26.35, profit margin 8.60. With what has happened in the last couple of weeks in the market, the price current, as a matter of fact, the indicators are actually looking up. What will you say about sterling at the price of £1.72?
You can say that it just increased by only 2 kobo since we'll be talking about it. Since the compilation of this result, there's just 2 kobo. Put it in a place where you can take position. It's good to go.
All right. We go to May and Baker. May and Baker released a marginal growth of 153 kobo, but the PE ratio for the unaudited year-end result was 7.57, which is not bad. Then earnings yield was Baker 13.20, and then profit margin 8.23. Now, what has happened to May and Baker? All the while, it is currently flat from what I can see here, selling at the price of £4.45.
I think what happened was because of that marginal growth. I think what the market is waiting for is their audited result to see whether there's the declaration of a dividend. I think what I would just recommend for this is if you are in it, hold your position.
With this earning per share of 57 kobo, how much dividend do you think May and Baker will be willing to release to shareholders?
25 kobo. That will be 50%, almost 50%.
So, see, this is the best program ever, except that we really do not have time. Let's go back to that sterling. Let us assume that they still retain this 45 kobo earning per share. So let us assume that in their audited report they still retain 45 kobo earning per share. How much do you think the board will be releasing to the public?
30 kobo.
And if you get 30 kobo relative to a price of 170 kobo,
on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, is a good one.
Very good one. Let's go to Unity Bank. Somebody called me the other day and was telling me that Unity Bank is not good. See, as far as I'm concerned, particularly when I'm coming on air, every stock is good. No stock is bad. I'm the oracle. What makes a stock good is result. If the stock is bringing in good report, I'm not bothered about what people are saying. I don't go with insinuation. I go with the report that I can see. All right? I don't listen to side talks or rumor. I don't propagate that. I propagate result. Now, for Unity, at a price of 50 kobo, earning per share of 21 kobo. For the unaudited report, I don't know what their audited report is going to come up with. 2.37 is the PE ratio, and the earnings yield 42.27. That is percent. That is the earnings yield. Though the profit margin of 4.90 is low. Now, Unity, from this 21 kobo, how much do you think they will be willing to share with shareholders?
They can pay 10 kobo. One of the things I want to support what we have just said is one, for the fact that you are a listed company and you are able to fulfill your post-listing requirement, which is by bringing your quarterly results, then you are once you are fulfilling your post-listing requirement, then it shows that you are in business and the management is performing. So as far as I'm concerned, the Unity, I know a guy that is profiting seriously on this Unity, can come in at 45 kobo and leave at 60 kobo. Then wait for it to come back at 45 kobo and leave at 60 kobo.
All right. I've been asked to wind down. Actually, I had expected that I have lots of time. Unity is actually looking up on the NGX. I thought that we have enough time to do this. Okay. And let's just look at another equity here. Let us say NEM, for example. NEM, the result is not that good because, again, upon their share reconstruction, 13.94 decline is what we have seen. But then the PE ratio of 3.82 is so fantastic, and not that alone. The earnings yield is 26.15, profit margin 15.97. But NEM is not moving. So but again, I think it's just going up a little. The possibility that it will even open positive on Monday is there. How much do you think the organization from this 87 kobo, how much do you think they can
release?
Let's
say 40 kobo, that is 50% out of it.
And if that is achieved, relative to the current price of 3.32 kobo.
That is a good one. I think why people are actually not looking at NEM, because you have just said that they've just done an exercise, and people are trying to run away from such organizations that are gone reconstruction.
Okay, that's about how far we can go. Today, by the grace of God, we will be here again next week. But again, all these things will be on our website, stocksng.com. We'll also be on the radio Monday through Friday, Metro 97.7 FM, Lagos, 8:45 to 9 in the morning. All right, Aruna, I want to say a very big thank you to you for being here today. I want to say a very big thank you to the management of Lagos Television for making this platform available, their staffers for remaining there for us every time, and my team. You are the best. See you on Saturday at the shareholders meeting. Until then, I remain yours sincerely in wealth creation, its accumulation and preservation. Abayomi of Babulijo. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your week.
This is the future. This is the time to do more. Give more. Help more. Be more. A future where more compassion and more empathy will make us more human. A future where more technologies and more digital platforms will help bring more people to safety and prosperity. Welcome to the future. Here, you can be more with us. Access, more than banking.